There's computer. Cool, we are now live. Perfect. I'm just going to share my screen with you. I've got a couple of slides. Much lighter this week on the slide front. So just 1 second. I'll do that. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. Right. Let's kick things off. So, first of all, so this is going to be a little bit of a talk about metabolic adaptation, if I can even say it. Metabolic adaptation is basically where people go wrong. So, you know, this is what I see time and time again, and I'm sure you've been familiar with this process yourself, where people cut calories to extreme. They lose weight, but generally it's the wrong type of weight. So what happens is they're metabolizing muscle as a fuel source as well as fat. And when they've lost that weight and they go back to old eating patterns because it's not a sustainable diet, they then go back into reverse. So ultimately they gain it back and some more because the metabolism is now slower. So what I want to try and do, guys, is just try and explain to you how you can stop this from happening. Because ultimately, we know that isogenics is going to get you to the end goal. But ultimately, the most important thing for everyone who's coaching you through this process is to help you maintain a healthy lifestyle. And, you know, I just come off a call to a guy who actually was one of my first clients that I managed through this process. He's now 2 years into his journey, and he's still maintained his size 32-inch waist and feels great from the key pieces that he put into his life. So the key thing is to start off with is sort of set your expectations. So, you know, whenever I speak to someone, I would say 1 to 2 pounds of fat loss per week, 1 to 2% of body fat per month, 1 to 2 inches around the waist per month. That's a realistic target to set yourself. If you're looking to gain lean muscle, right, there's kind of 3 tiers to this. If you're a beginner as a trainer, so you're brand new into to weight training, you're going to be shouldn't expect to gain more than 2 pounds of lean muscle per month. If you're an intermediate, i.e. you've been around the gym for a little bit of time, then that's more like 1.5 pounds of lean muscle per month. And if you're an absolute advanced in terms of you've been around the gym for quite a while, then 0.8 is the maximum amount you can gain in a month. 0.4 to 0.8. So these are all, they're at the higher ends of what I've just said. So, you know, that just to sort of set your expectations. Being patient is the most important thing because it isn't a race. Once you get to your ideal goal, would you all agree that it's better to stay there than just get there? And that is what this is to really trying to help you understand through the process, is to help you get some key advice along the way, and hopefully these calls will start to do that. Keep the carbs. So, you know, the keto diet is a classic. It's just an advancement of the Atkins diet, but in a healthy way, or a healthier way, shall we say. So instead of Atkins, which was cut out carbs but eat fats and protein, but eat whatever the hell you want, then ultimately, you know, causing like clogs around the arteries, not good at all. Keto is actually recommending good fats from whole foods. So things like, you know, coconut oils and eggs and, you know, avocados and stuff like that. So, you know, but the problem with a keto is, again, how maintainable is it to cut out a macronutrient out of your lifestyle forever? And if the answer is definitely not, right, then you cannot, it's not maintainable. So again, you're setting yourself up for failure. If your diet has an end date, you're setting yourself up for failure. So again, we want to look at how we can do it, where, so the kind of first one is obviously keep carbs in. They're absolutely essential. They're actually a fuel source for your body. So the most important time to put your carbs into your diet is before a workout or immediately after a workout, or around the workout time, because the fuel is going to fuel your body. The carbs after are going to replenish the glycogen stores. So again, an important part if you're not, if this is why they say don't have carbs too late at night, because again, if you're eating carbs at night, what's happening? It's being stored because you're not utilizing that energy whilst you're sleeping or sat on the sofa, right? So again, this is where, if you are eating late at night and you're not exercising directly before that late at night meal, then my highest recommendation is to eat your carbs earlier on in the day, and towards the end of the day, go all in on, your as many greens as you want, but a bit more protein as well in your diet. So again, you're still eating enough calories, but you're leaning more towards those macronutrients at that time set. So again, there's no specific time, but I tend to say after 8, I won't eat carbs, if I've not worked out directly before it. The other key thing as well, and this is sort of stems back from my bodybuilding days, where when your body gets to a really low body fat percentage, your body's fighting against that. So I'm trying to get down to like 5-6% for a show. Your body's like, no, I'm not letting you do it, right? Because it's survival. It's all about survival mechanism. So our bodies are naturally, we are at a healthy level around 10%. So it's actually unhealthy to go into shows, which is, one of the reasons why I've not done it for a couple of years. But again, this is how I utilize the high carb days to, I'm going to call it manipulate the body. Wow, can't even speak to that. Manipulate the body to basically utilize more fat. So what I used to do was going into the final cut phase, the final 4 weeks, and I don't want you to do this yet, but I want you to do this when you get to a sticky point. Okay, so let's just say you've progressively been getting results, you're doing amazing, and then so all of a sudden things kind of slow down. And you're like, okay, or stop, right? You've seen that plateau. Then this is where you can do this. So you would do carb cycling. So carb cycling, you can either do 2 low days, 1 high day. By low, 2 shakes would be low. That'd be 50 grams of carbs. So definitely that's sufficient. You don't want to cut it out altogether. And then 1 high day. Again, there isn't an actual figure. I used to do 200 grams to 300 grams. So that was my high range. Again, and the high day, you want to put it in where you're doing your biggest movements around the gym. So if you are exercising and doing, exercising through the gym, perfect time to put it in is leg day, because that's the biggest muscle groups that you're going to be needing the most amount of energy in order to really go all in. So you want to have your high carb days around those days, okay? And then as you get further down the line, again, sort of hit a sticking point. 3 low days, 1 high day. So again, the 3-to-1 ratio is kind of like the final point. So that's just some things you can do, guys. The reason why your body stops, slows down, is because basically when your fat loss comes down, your body releases a hormone called leptin. Leptin is what basically causes your body to burn fat, right? So your leptin levels actually lower as body fat lowers and as glycogen stores deplete. So again, high carb day kickstarts the metabolism. And you might hear where a bodybuilder will do a cheat day, right? I mean, I'm not a fan of unhealthy cheat days where I'll eat pizza and everything, but you do see it. I'm more of a fan of, right, I'll go Nando's and I'll get loads of sweet potato wedges and like a full chicken and a half, and I'll go all in on healthier foods, shall we say. So I'm still giving my body goodness, but loads of carbs and well over the calories that I'd usually eat in one sitting. So again, those in a particular set, again, a cheat meal, having a lot of carbs in one sitting, once a week, keeps the metabolism going nice and fast. So yeah, don't be afraid to have, I call a treat meal, because ultimately it's going to help you. It's going to keep you sane, because let's face it, it's nice to have something nice every now and then, but try and keep it in one sitting. That's the key. Keep it in one sitting, and really, that's going to help keep your metabolism nice and high. Don't cut fat too low. So again, You know, people get scared of the word fat because of the 1970s, where actually fat was taken out of the equation. They said fat was bad for you. So what happened? All the food manufacturers put low fat, started stripping the fat out of the food, tasted like shite. So they started putting sugar in the food, which is why we're in this even worse cycle, because sugar is worse for you, because they've taken out the actual good fats, as well as, you know, hydrogenated fats that they've now pumped into foods. So it's a complete mess. But basically, fats from avocados, almonds, you know, your oily fish like salmon, you know, omega-3s are so important, guys, for your health. I can't emphasize that enough. So I do supplement with omega-3s as well. So, you know, my highest recommendation is, I've been doing it since the age of 18 because I know how important it is. If your omega-6 to your omega-3 is out of balance, you cause inflammation. Too much inflammation obviously causes sort of havoc with diseases in your health further down the line. So you want to try and bring that in balance. And omega-6 is really in our meat. So if you eat a lot of meat and you don't eat a lot of fish, you're definitely going to be out of balance. So, you know, you're not getting that omega-3 balance. So again, I would substitute with a good capsule from a natural oil source. And reverse dieting. So, right, let's just fast forward. We're now in our best shape ever. We're about to go on our, you know, our holidays and then come back. And then it's like, right, what do I do now? So if you think 30, 60, 90 days or however long it's going to take you to get to your end goal, and we get there and you stop, what you're going to do? You're going to, and I see it every single time, you're going to default back to old habits. Or you're going to make some drastic changes in your life. So you're going to get up earlier. You're going to, you know, instead of having that cereal toast, skipping breakfast, you're going to make yourself a decent, you know, omelette with some greens in there. And then instead of that sandwich and meal deal, you're going to switch that out and you're going to go for, you know, you made yourself some hummus and some quinoa and some chicken, and, you know, basically you made yourself a whole food meal, right? And then you've kind of cracked the code. But the reality of it is 95% of people in the UK will default back to old habits. And them old habits are those quick and convenient foods because we lack time. So if you lack time, this is where Isogenics can help you. Whether that's one meal, just taking care of that breakfast for you in 30 seconds. Whether that's you're a chocoholic like me, instead of the dairy milk bars, it's the isoline bars or the Ice Delights. If you stresses in your environment, you know, the ionics becomes a fundamental part. So you pick the pieces that solve your puzzle, and really that makes life easy for you. So it could be a combination of 1 or 10 or 3 things. It really depends on you as a person. And again, what we want to then do is, if you've been sat at 1,500 calories, the worst thing you can do is go back up to 2,500 calories straight away. Your body's going to be like, what the hell? It's just shot. It's too much, right? So we want to do this gradual. And the best way to do it gradual is 250 increments. So if you're at 1,500, 1,750. Next one, 2,000. Next one, 2,250. Next one, 2,500. And then measure for success. So if you notice the inches start going up, whoa, we've gone a little bit too far, 2,000, 2,200 is around my maintenance level, I'm staying the same. That is how we then maintain, because everyone's different, and there is a calculator that you can work this out. But I want to show this to you guys. Just come away from the slide deck a second, because going back to last week's call, if you were on it, remember we talked about the total daily energy expenditure calculation. And if you wasn't on it, there is a calculator basically to work this out. It's called TDEE calculator.net, right? And I want to show you how this works, because the other thing is, as you get from bigger to from heavier to lighter, your metabolism slows down. So the calories your body now needs is less. Okay, so if we go, I'm just going to use myself, 37, I'm about 186 pounds. I'm 5'9". I'm in a sedentary, but I'm exercising 3 to 5 times a week. So I hit calculate. This is going to tell me what my total daily energy expenditure is. That 2,700 calories is my maintenance level. In order for me to reduce my body fat by 1 to 2 pounds, I need to be a 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit of that figure. So 1,700 calories would mean I would achieve a 2 pound fat loss per week. Now, let's just say I've just gone from 186 to 180. So I've just dropped 6 pounds. Go me, right? And I hit recalculate. Look what's happened. The calories now for my maintenance is 2,684. And then we go down again, 1,000 to 170. Calories now, 2,600. So as we come down in weight, so does the number of calories that we actually need. So our metabolism slow, because our metabolism to move someone who's bigger has to be faster because it needs more energy. So again, this is really what is happening here. So again, you know, when you're going back up to maintenance level, you don't want to just go straight back to that number. You want to gradually increase and use your IsoLife app. So I want to come on to how to use your IsoLife app. If you're not already doing this, enroll into the wellness program on your IsoLife app. When you get in there, it'll ask you for certain things. Just be mindful, guys. There is people that have lost their measurements. So if you are using the measurement tracker in the app, you might want to write that in the book just to keep a track of it. I'd recommend doing that, and then just use the app for the tracking of your calories. So in the app, you're literally going to tick off, I've had my Onyx, I've had my Thermo, I've had my shake, and you can add your food in, and you can add in like 2 whole eggs, and it'll tell you the calories and the macro breakdown. So this is how you're going to learn through the process of, right, when I eat 2 eggs, how many calories is that? I know it's around about 190, right? But if you've not tracked that, you will never know that. So again, you're going to learn these numbers that you're not going to have to use this app going forward. It's a part of the education process to make sure that you're hitting the target. If you're below 1,500 calories as a male, you're going to be eating too low. You're going to actually crash. And again, be mindful of that. If you go too extreme, the only time obviously is on a cleanse day where you're doing an intermittent fast. But any other time, 1,500 calories should be the minimum as a guy. If you're active, i.e. 3 to 4 workouts per week, 1,800 calories is what I recommend as a starting point. And again, like that's, as you can see from my figures, that's how it would look for me at 1,700, but at 1,800 calories, I can come down a little bit. I've got a little bit of play space there as well. So just to kind of, I just wanted to really explain that to you guys so you can see as your weight's coming down, so is the number of calories as well that your body actually needs. So you're naturally going to have higher success when you first get started. It's going to slow down, it's going to plateau, and we're going to leverage these little points that I mentioned in the presentation to help you get through those plateaus. Okay, so moving on from that, let me get back to the PowerPoint slides. So I've got a swap of the week. So we did swap of the week last week. Did anyone try the endamine bean spaghetti? Put your hands up, come off mute. Dan, anybody else? No? Is anyone like, what the hell's he on about? The endamine bean spaghetti, right? I can't even say the word. So you're probably like, what? Right, it's basically a vegetable spaghetti, and we swapped it out last week. We do swap of the week now, and swap of the week is just taking an unhealthier food source and replacing it with a healthy food source. So it was white spaghetti pasta for endamine bean spaghetti. Dan, come off mute, mate. Let us know what you thought of it. Be honest.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, I actually really like it. I actually use it now all the time. I don't use spaghetti or anything like that. I've actually got used to it. I have it with my chicken and my broccoli, and it's just a nice little side to have. So yeah, I really like it. So I've just got used to it now, and I buy it all the time.
Fantastic. So yeah, guys, if you've not tried it, add that into your itinerary, because these are little switches that we're going to be making along the way. If you like them, will make a massive impact when you compound that over the life, right? So again, these small little changes. So this week, if you've got a bit of a sweet tooth, we're going to swap of the week's going to be white sugar, refined sugar. Even brown sugar, again, there isn't much difference between the two other than the dye. So you want to switch this out for something called stevia. Now, what stevia is naturally derived from a plant. So this isn't synthetic like sweetener, right? This is a natural sweetener derived from a plant, and it doesn't cause these insulin spikes. So you see the glycemic index. If something's high on the glycemic index, you have a spike and then a crash, right? If something's low on the glycemic index, you have a steady rise and then a steady slow down. That's the way energy is dispersed through your body. So if you think like oats, steady energy release, slow energy release throughout the day. If you think banana, it's more spike, crash. Great source of carbohydrate around training, not so great if you're not doing anything with that energy. If you think blackberries, they're a lower glycemic fruit. Again, you're going to get a steadier release of energy from those fruits. So glycemic index is a great thing. You can type any food in, type in glycemic index. You can see this and put in a search, and it'll show you all the different food types. So you can see stevia on the list. No glycemic index spikes at all. Doesn't have an impact on the insulin sensitivity. Also great for anyone who is at risk of diabetes. That's why diabetes comes into play. If you're type 2, you're having spikes and crashes way too often, and that's causing that insulin resistance over time. So this is what we want to do, is look to replace those refined sugars and switch it out for stevia. And organic's the best type, so there is some that are a bit man-made, you know. So you want to look for the organics, that type of stevia. You can get it on most supermarkets now. Again, give it a try. It is a lot sweeter than sugar, so just don't put a full teaspoon in. You might be like, oh my God, it tastes like syrup. But ultimately, that's going to help as well. So, guys, enough from me before we go into product spotlight. I've got a great speaker who's going to share with you his journey to date. A guy called Matt. Matt, I'm just going to unmute you, mate, just so that you can... Oh, you've actually unmuted yourself. There we go. Hey, Matt.
Hi, you all right?
Yeah. So, Matt, obviously... I believe, what day are you on now?
Today's my 18th.
Oh. 18th day. Brilliant. Okay. And I know obviously on the 15th we had a bit of an update, and you were absolutely flying, but I want you to sort of share with you where you are today, first of all, and sort of your experiences to date.
Well, I've weighed myself tonight just so I can let everyone know. I'm just shy of a stone now, so it's 13 pounds in 18 days, which is obviously I'm really happy with. I've stuck to the plan in terms of the cleanse days, the shakes, the snacks, all that kind of stuff. The only thing I would say is maybe the evening meals I've struggled a bit working out the calories, but it doesn't seem to have affected any losses. Today was a bit of an awkward day because I wasn't able to have my second shake or my snacks. So I'm probably down on calories. So it's quite interesting to hear what you've just said about a minimum amount of calories, because I'm thinking now maybe I should eat some up before it's too late.
Definitely, yeah. A good omelette or something like that, Matt.
Sorry?
A good omelette or something like that would be good, you know, just to get some good fats and some protein in you.
So, yeah, it's like I say, it's not even 3 weeks in, and you know I'm still trying to find my feet with it, but still getting great losses. So I'm really pleased with how things are going so far.
Amazing.
And on top of that as well, I've hardly done any exercise whatsoever. It's just been the system.
Fantastic. Yeah, and you know, I say this all the time, guys. The exercise is really there for health. From a fat loss perspective, you don't need to go and beast the cardio. Like the control calorie deficit is in your diet, so you're only burning more calories to extend that distance between what you're consuming and what your total daily energy expenditure is. So you just, you know, and again, if you go too much, that's why we have to bump the calories up to compensate for that. Otherwise, you go to extreme, you start to metabolize muscle as fuel. So such an important point, Matt. In terms of like energy levels, how are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. I've noticed it more the last couple of days. I've been up earlier than usual, so I was a bit sluggish. I tried giving up coffee as well. So if I do find that I'm struggling a bit, I will just have a black coffee or one of the e-shots. But no, generally on the whole, I'm more awake, feel more alive. Definitely feel like I've got more energy. So yeah, it's doing everything it said it would. So I'm really happy.
Fantastic, thanks, Matt. And in terms of sleep patterns, I don't know what your sleep pattern was like prior to this. Obviously, have you noticed any difference there?
Just getting used to drinking more water, really. So I try and get it done by the afternoon. So in the early stages, I was getting up a lot and weeing in the night because obviously I've a massive increase in water. But no, I seem to be a lot more settled recently now that I've got kind of a cut-off point. I won't stop drinking, but I'll get the bulk of it done sort of by 3-4 o'clock, and then just keep it to the odd glass maybe. But yeah, it seems to be working fine. Sleep-wise, not a problem.
That's great, Matt. And so, obviously there's some people that are brand new to this, might not even got started yet. So, if you was to give any advice or anything that you wish was shared with you at the point of getting started, what would it be, Matt?
I think, to be honest with you, if you're at the point of doing this, it's something you want to do anyway. So you kind of self-motivate yourself to follow the plan. Because I follow it to the letter. I needed it. I needed a change. So I needed some structure. So it's perfect for what I needed. And I think that's the key. If you stick to the plan, stick to the structure, you're not always going to be bang on with your calories for your evening meals. But if you're there or thereabouts, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But I'm, not even 3 weeks in, so I'm not sure that's the right thing to be saying. You might be cursing me now, but but yeah, the early days was tough because you're getting used to it. Obviously, your stomach's shrinking as well because I've done Slimming World in the past, which encourages you to eat when you're hungry. But that's more sort of bulk food, free food, they call it. So, fruit, vegetables, carbs, that kind of thing. So I've gone from eating a lot to eating a lot less, but I feel better for it. I thought I'd struggle.
Yeah.
So yeah, those early, I had obviously man flu as well, which was, as I mentioned, in the first few days. So I don't know whether that was down to, I don't know if it helped or not, because I didn't feel as hungry because I was ill. So the early days, I couldn't really comment what it was like, but if you are struggling, it's worth the effort and the perseverance to get through that. Because I did a double cleanse day 3 days in, which I found a lot easier the second time as well. It does help, but I think if you want to do this and you're doing it, stick to the plan, keep focused, and you'll get the results.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I mean, there's a couple of things as well, just kind of side notes there as well. If you do get hungry, guys, as many greens as you want. Like, you're not going to overload on calories in greens. Let's just say that. So green vegetables, go all out. You have handfuls of spinach, broccoli, whatever you want to use. But ultimately, that's going to be absolutely fine. The other thing as well is the ice of snacks. Now, obviously, you have up to 6 snacks a day. I know these are not the most palatable things in the world, but what they do is they curb cravings and balance blood sugar levels. So they are really designed to help curb those cravings. 2 of those, 30 calories, are going to just shut down that receptor as well. And the other thing as well, if you are struggling, black coffee, it also has a shutdown on the metabolic, or shuts down the receptors for hunger. So that's going to be another great little tip. So those 3 little things there that I mentioned, if you are having those moments, just try one of those. Obviously, coffee not too late at night, but ultimately the other 2. Right, so thanks so much for that, Matt. Really appreciate you sharing your journey today, and keep up the great work, mate. I'm really doing amazing, mate. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
Right, so just final things, guys. We've got, I'm still sharing my screen, by the way. Yeah, cool. So just let me just flip that on to bigger so that you can actually see it. So as always, I like to do a product spotlight just so that you know what you're consuming and why it's important to you. And then like I say, when you go from system to individual products, you can decide, well, these are the bits that actually I know are going to help me in continuing with my health. So I like to break down each product so that you know what you're consuming and why it's in the system. So ISA Move, or as my wife likes to call it, ISA Poop, because it keeps you regular. It helps cleanse your colon. So this contains 4 key ingredients. Physalis husk is a fiber source. So it's a high fibrous food that's just going to help aid digestion. Magnesium. Magnesium is a way to, and a lot of people are magnesium deficient, about 70% of the UK, I believe, from statistics. So magnesium helps with a restful night's sleep. So again, if you are struggling with sleep and you've noticed a shift in that, that's one of the reasons why, as a part of the components. And Physalis husk, so I've covered that one. Hyssop, which is basically, again, to help aid digestion. And there is some other benefits from there, but ultimately it's more about the helping aid digestion. And peppermint, which is a great way for helping cleanse your body, cleanse your colon. So it's, again, it's just keeping you, because your colon gets blocked up with all sorts of stuff. If you've ever had, I can't even remember what it's called, basically where they stick a tube up you and clean you out. I had it because of a competition prep. I know it sounds weird, but the stuff that come out was just revolting. But ultimately, the reason why they get stuck in your colon, because there's all those little creases in your colon. So there could be bread and meat in there for years that have been rotting away, and this is basically helping clean out that passageway as we're going through. Sorry, this ain't a great topic to be speaking about, but just trying to basically getting you more regular and making sure we're getting all that stuff out of your body. So again, this is an amazing product. Obviously, the reason why we have it in the system is just to help with that process of absorption, helping with a good night's sleep, helping cleanse your colon and all that good stuff. So that is today's product spotlight. We're bang on 30 minutes. So guys, feel free to come off mute. This is Q&A now. This is the bit I love the most because anything can get thrown at me. Doesn't have to be related to that. So feel free to ask the most random questions. Just come off mute, guys, and ask away.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Hey, John.
John.
Great
How
to see
you
you,
doing?
mate.
Yeah, and you. So my question is, I've been sticking to the plan, the shake days and the cleanse days to the letter. But I've also, in my evening meals, every night on my shake days, I'm having chicken, sweet potato, and broccoli. Lunchtime is generally tuna salad, something like that along the lines of, or an omelette or something. Now, I went to the gym about 5 days ago, and I had a look at my metabolic age rate, and it was 37. So it's 11 years older than what I am. Is there anything that I can do to try and speed this up a little bit? I obviously listened last week. I was here, and I started putting pepper on my food, which I wouldn't normally do, and the cayenne pepper and stuff like that. And I'm going to go again tonight and see what it is now a week later. But is there any other tips to kind of speed that up?
Yeah, so again, as you get fitter, that's how it's. I mean, I'll have a look at the calculation, John, because anything I don't fully know, the mathematical equation as to how they come to that number, I'll do a deeper dive into. But ultimately, as you get fitter and healthier, and your body composition changes, i.e., body fat going down, lean muscle going up, so does your the age of what's it called again? The
metabolic age rate,
metabolic age. Yeah, I mean, first of all, don't be scared of being 37. It's all right, but we certainly can obviously bring that down. Again, this is, I'd be surprised, John, if you go back this week and it hasn't gone down. Sure. Just through what you've been saying there, you've been eating clean for 5 days, 7 days straight now. You've been sticking to whole foods, which is what we're what we're trying to embrace here as a part of this lifestyle. And again, so I'd be interested to see how that goes. But just also keep an eye on, is your body fat percentage going down and your lean muscle mass either staying the same or going up? Because that should change that figure. But I'll find out exactly what is driving that figure, and then I'll let you know in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, sure. Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, let me know as well as how you get on when you do your next test, and put it in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, well, I'm going tonight, literally after this call. So after I finish the gym and stuff, I'll ping it across.
Cool. Thanks, John. Anyone else? Don't be shy. No? We all good? Or is someone struggling to unmute themselves? Guys, absolute pleasure as always. We'll call it a wrap then, and hopefully you got value from tonight's call. Keep up the great work. I mean, this is obviously key for us staying accountable to one another. I am very close to organising our first social get-together, and I won't give any clues away, but again, I'll put it in there. I want to do this once a month so we can move it around the country, and we can come together for those that can make it and do something fun that's physical or just out in an adventure more than just or contributing towards a charity, but you know, doing something healthy around it. So again, we'll get that in the diary. I'll put it on next week's call. So look forward to that. Other than that, guys, have an amazing evening. Stay healthy, and I'll see you all next week. Keep us posted, guys. Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mark.